Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports. Here myself, Charlie. Wonderful the video stats. Please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try to become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now there has been a rule change in Argentinian football today or yesterday that has caught my eye for a variety of reasons, and one that could have an impact, I think, on the global transfer market as we move forward. For those that don't know, Argentina has brought in, and the Argentinian FA has brought in a new rule that means that young players, youth players, must sign a contract with a professional club before being able to move abroad and also to be eligible for selection for the national team. Now, of course, this would mean that players who don't sign a professional contract and move abroad before playing professional minutes would then make themselves exempt from potential selection in the future for La Selección. So, for example, of course, the most prominent example would be Lionel Messi, who never played professionally in Argentina, moved to La Masia and Barcelona at a very young age, and would have then not been able to play. Now, the reason for this is, well, there's one or two reasons, one of which is due to the fact that Argentina is losing a lot of young players at a young age, and they are getting younger to the clubs in Europe. We know Europe's scouting systems are getting more extensive and more ruthless and competitive. And this has meant that Argentina has seen players, for example, most recently, Sartalo, who played for River Plate, moved to Parma at the age of 16, despite having a professional contract from River Plate, who are undoubtedly one of the biggest clubs in South America, on the table. He decided, despite being, like I say, capped at the Argentina youth levels, all of them, to pursue a move to Europe at 16 years old, not deciding to play for River Plate, who were offering him a position that they felt was best for his development. Many prominent voices in Argentinian football have come out and said something needs doing about this. Gabriel Heinze, of course, Arsenal assistant manager, is one of those who has said something needs to be done about the role that parents and agents are playing in young players' careers. And I think it's fair to say this could have an impact, because Argentina is, without a shadow of doubt, probably looking at what Brazilian clubs are doing at the moment and thinking we need a piece of that pie. Brazilian clubs recently have seen and helped the league grow much stronger thanks to a new raft of investment, which has been led by players from academies coming up, playing first team minutes, and then selling them to Europe. For example, Flamenco with Vinicius, but there's plenty of others as well. Esteval, Palmeiras, you name it. There's plenty of young Brazilian players who have gone. Argentina are probably looking at this and going, we need to act now to try and ensure that our young players stay in the country, while even though we may not have the money that the Brazilian clubs can offer their young players to stay for a little bit, we can keep them here and then make the money off the European clubs buying them, which could then be invested in our domestic game. It may have an impact on the European transfer market as well, because we may see less and less clubs able to go to South American countries, pick these players up on the cheap when they're 16, 15, but bring them in and then pay peanuts for them, which is, of course, a very appealing move if you're a club like Parma, who, unlike the Chelseas and Man Cities of this world, who also have extensive scouting programs, can go and get these players on the cheap and development and sell them on for themselves. There's a lot of moving and shaking around it, but it was a rule that I think is very much done with a look to the future and a look to Argentina exporting its talent around the globe, but in a way that's going to benefit Argentinian football. And I think there'll be plenty of other countries that may look at bringing this rule in. People say, is it legal? It is legal. It's nothing different really to the selection policy that, for example, England's rugby team have got, where they say, well, if you don't play in England, you can't play for the national team. There's nothing that's going to legally block it. And FIFA doesn't have any rules around selection policies. They don't have anything that they can get involved in or intervene in. So for Argentinian football and South American football, there may be others, Colombia, Ecuador, who are also having players plucked off at a very young age by clubs in Europe and going, we're not actually going to do this, and hope the appeal of the national team pays off. I think we will see the effects of this potentially in years to come, definitely in South American football anyway. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. I've been Charlie. Have a great day.